Alright, so welcome to today's session, and today I am going to talk about book building. That is, I am going to talk about how exactly is a book made, correct, from a page. And then I am also going to talk about headers and footers of Microsoft Word. And this is one functionality which is a little bit difficult to understand in Microsoft Word. So that's what we are going to talk about, right? So please pass on these pages. So take one and take one page per two people and pass it on. Just see if there is a Caesar that might be busted. No, it's here. It's here. Alright, so you just have to take one page and pass on. So everybody has got a page. Right? Alright. Now I want you to fold that page like this. So fold the page in half. Correct? The open corners should be at the top. So it should be folded here. So fold it like this. Done? Okay? Now fold it again like this. This time your open corner will be on the right corner, top right corner. So this is your open corner. Got it? Okay. Now I want you to take your pen and write 1 here on the first page. Behind 1, what will you write? Correct. Correct. So behind 1 you are going to write 2, and then you are going to write 3, 4, 5 and so on. Correct? So if all goes well, you should have 8 pages. So you will be able to put 8 numbers, right? 1, so behind 1 you have 2, then 3, 4 and so on and so forth. Done? Alright, now next to that 1 that you have written, I want you to draw an arrow in the upwards direction. Arrow in the upwards direction. Correct? So next to every number, draw an arrow showing you the top direction. The top edge. Done? Okay, so you should have a page like this, right, with the number and the arrows. Now open that page up, and you can see the actual page layout on the sheet. So below 1 you should get 4, correct, and next to 1 you should get 8 and so on, correct. And if you see the arrow direction, you will realize that if 1 is facing upwards, 4 is facing downwards. Correct? So when papers are actually printed in real life, they are printed like this. When books are actually printed in real life, they are printed like this. So there is a big sheet, correct, which is like 4 times or 6 times or 8 times bigger than this. So typically on one sheet, you are able to accommodate 16 pages. So if you take front and back, there are 32 pages per sheet. Then that sheet is folded n number of times, and then you make a booklet, right? What they do after that is they take some sort of a binding mechanism. Now here I am simply going to use a stapler. So they take some sort of a binding mechanism. Just see if there is a stapler in the magic basket. So I'm going to staple it here. So this is your binding, correct? And then they cut off these. I don't know if I did properly cut it, so you have more finer cut once again. And this is what is your real book, right? But when it's printed, show me your sheet. When it's printed, it's not literally printed like that. So you can see that the orientation is totally different. It goes opposite and it actually shows different pages. Okay? Now this is how a book is printed. Typically you would have 16 sheets, 16 pages. Correct? Actually the correct terminology is this is called as one leaf. Right? And one side of the leaf is one page. So these are two pages. Right? So you have got 1 and 2. Now since the binding is around the left edge, the page on the right is always the odd numbered page. So the right side page will always be 1 number, 3 number, 5 number and so on. You will never have 2 number page on the right or 4 number page on the right. And the page on the left is always the even numbered page. I may have mentioned here around the beginning of the course that this is called as the verso. The left hand side page is called as the verso and this is called as the recto. Correct? In a number of word editors that we use, there is a different terminology being used. So some people call it as the odd page and this is called as the even page. Have you followed this much? Alright, let's go ahead with our discussion. So in Microsoft Word, we are talking about pagination here, right? In Microsoft Word, what do we have? We have a book. Now typically in a Word file, a book file is the one physical file. That is one .doc file or one .docx file. That is your book file. Correct? Now within the book you have got different chapters. So let's say chapter 1. What will be the next chapter? Chapter? Brilliant. Next one. ये तो पक्का नहीं आएगा.
3.
Chapter 3. Wow. Okay, great. So you have got chapter 3. Correct? Now within the chapter you will have what? Pages. So you may have page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4 and so on. Again for the next chapter you will have page 1, 2, whatever. Page, third chapter you will have page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. Depends on how many pages are there in that chapter. Correct? Now there are two types, rather there are three types of breaks in Word. Correct? Number one and the most frequently used break is called as the page break. Correct? The second most break is called as the section break. And the third one is called as a column break. So you have got a page break, a section break and a column break. What is the difference? Let's say if you want to go from page 1 to page 2 within the same chapter, what are you going to put? You are going to put a page break. Now let's say you want to go from page number 4 of one chapter to page number 1 of second chapter. What are you going to put? Section break. Correct? And let's take one page. So let's say page number 7 has got a 2-column layout. So though I have got one page, within that page, let's say for whatever reason I have made 2 columns to put text. Now when I want to take text from first column to the second column, what do I put? I put a column break. So you have got a page break, you have got a section break and you have got a column break. Getting this much? Alright. So page break is between the pages of the same chapter. Section break is between two chapters. Correct? And column break is within the same page. Alright? Are we through with this? Okay. Now let me draw one more diagram here. So let's say I have got chapter 1, I have got chapter 2, and I have got chapter 3. Alright? In chapter 1, I have got page number 1. Correct? Then I have got page number 2. Alright? In chapter 2, I have got page number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright? In chapter number 3, let's say I have got 1, 2, and 3. Just an example. Alright? Now I am going to write the number in the red color here. Now, if you look at the actual book, the document, what will be the page number of this page? This is the first page of first chapter. So this is page number 1. What is this? Page number 2. What is this?
3.
This will be 3. This is 4. This is
6. 7. 8.
so you have got 10 pages in a book or in that document, right? Now I may want it differently. What do I mean? So let's say I may want the first page of any chapter, right? I want the first page of any chapter to start on the right side, right hand side page. Remember the book? Correct? If I want the page to start on the right side, it should always be the odd numbered page. Correct? So where is chapter number 3 starting? It's starting on the left hand side page. Correct? I want all the pages to start on, all the chapters to start on right hand side. So that setting is called as starting a chapter on a odd page. Correct? So depending on that, there are different types of section breaks. Alright? So if I put a section break here, now there are different types of section break. Section break is next page, or you have got the next odd page, or you have got the next even page, and you have got same page. So there are 4 types of section breaks. What are they? Next page, next even page, next odd page, and same page. Alright? Now let's see here. Now here if I put section break next page, correct, after page number 2, where does the next chapter start? On page number 3. Why 3 is after 2? If I put section break next odd page, where does the chapter start? It still starts on page number 3. If I put a section number even page here, even page section break, then this page will change to page number 4. So after that, there will be a page here which we call as a forced blank page. Alright? You will not see that page while you are writing the text, but if you go to print preview, you will be able to see the forced blank page. Correct? I repeat. So this is page break. This is, if this is next page section break, it goes to page number 3. If this is odd page section break, it still goes to 3. If it is even page section break, it goes to 4. If I put section break same page, it doesn't go anywhere, it remains on the same page. Correct? But this is not normally used. I have only used this section break same page twice in my 20 years career. And this is used when we want to protect certain part of the document. Otherwise, mostly section break same page will not be used. So you can pretty much forget about this. Alright? Okay, let's go ahead. So if this is 4, this is 5, this is 6, 7, 8. Now, if on page number 8 I put section break, next page, what page it goes to? 9. If I put section break, odd page, where will it go to? Still go to 9. If I put section break, even page, where does it go to?
10.
10. And then you will have a forced blank page. Are you getting it? If I want the next sections to start on the odd page, I will put a section break odd page. Correct? यहाँ तक समझ में आ गया? So how many types of section breaks we have? 3. Next page, next odd page, next even page. Correct? Once again, now tell me this. This time you are going to tell me. So if I am on page number 1 and I put section break, next page. What is the next page number? 2. If I say section break, odd page, what is the next page number?
3.
If I put section break, even page, what is the next page number?
4.
2 is available now, why do you want to go to 4? Correct, na? So from 1 it will go to 2 for next page. For even page it will still go to 2. For odd page it will go to 3. And if it goes to 3, you have got what? You have got a forced blank page. Forced blank page is my terminology, which I use for teaching to students. This is not an industry standard term. Otherwise, you go for an interview somewhere and say, do you know forced blank page? No, then you don't know anything. You don't know forced blank page. समझ में आया? Alright, now let's go ahead. किसी को फोटो वगैरह निकालना है? Anybody wants to take a photograph? Go ahead. Go ahead. Now, we'll talk about headers and footers. Alright? So, there are 3 types of pages when you are using section breaks. Correct? What are those 3 types of pages? Number 1, you have got the first page of the section. Correct? Then you have got a odd page of the section. And then you have got an even page of the section. Now depending on what is the setting of your document, and you can change that setting, you may have a different header on first page, a different header on odd page, different header on even page. Similarly, you may have a different footer on the first page, you may have different footer on odd page and different footer on even page. Correct? If this is, let's say, your section number 1, let's go to section 2. In section 2 again you will have first page, so again you have got the first page here, you have got an odd page here, and you have got an even page here. Again, how many headers do you have? So you have got a different for first page header, different for odd page, different for even page, and different footer for first page, odd page and even page. Correct? Now all this depends on the setting. So you may simply say that I want different header only on odd and even. I don't want a different header on first page. Because first page will either be a even page or it will be an odd page. Correct, na? So if it is a even page, it inherits the header of the even page. Otherwise it inherits the header of the odd page. Simple. So this is the setting that you will have to do. Correct? Now when you are putting header and footer in Word, and this is why it's very confusing. When we put header and footer, there is a setting which is same as previous. Sometimes this is also mentioned as link to previous. Can you zoom into this text, the board? Make sure this is getting captured. So once again, section 1, first page, odd page, even page. Section 2, first page, odd page, even page. Settings depend on you, what you are going to set. Correct? And then we have got first page, we have got header footer, second page, header footer, third page, header footer. Second as in odd page header footer or even page header footer. Now it depends how your document is being arranged. Right? So again in second section, first page, header footer would be different. Even page and odd page, the header footers would be different. Now there is a setting in Word which we call as same as previous. Sometimes it's also called as link to previous. Now this setting causes a lot of confusion. For example, let's say what's my first page header. Let's say the header is, now typically on the first page you will have the heading. So if your chapter name is introduction, the chapter name will appear on the first page of the chapter. Is it required to give a header on top of a heading which is already there? No. So typically on the first page the header is blank. We don't put anything on the first page header. Correct? And typically what we do is we have got first page, then even page, then odd page. So this sequence is slightly different. So let me change this. Right? So we have got even, odd. We have got even, we have got odd. So to avoid the confusion, let's give page numbers here. So let's say first page is my page number 1 in the document. Even page will be my page number 2. Odd page will be what? Page number 3. If I am using a forced blank page, that is if I am using an odd page section break, there will be a forced blank page here which is number 4. Then what is this page? This is 5, 6, 7 and so on. Correct? Now let's say my first chapter is introduction. So on the first page you will have a heading which says introduction. So I am not going to put a header on that. But in the footer I may simply put a page number. Correct? Okay, so we are talking about the right side page, right? Even page. So in even page I may put the name of the doc. So I am going to say doc name on the left hand side of the header, right? And then so let's draw that book. All right. Which is the first page? This is the first page. Correct? The first page is going to have a heading here which is intro. So there will not be a header here. Why? The heading is already there. And the footer will be here and the page number will be here. Correct? Which is the even page? This is the even page and this is the odd page, number 3 page. Correct? Now here on the left hand side of the header, we put the document name. For example, we say this is installation guide or Windows installation guide. Whatever it is, we write it here. Correct? Because this is an even page, the binding will be in the center, the page number will be in the left corner. Correct? अगर मैंने पेज नंबर राइट कॉर्नर में लिया तो बाइंडिंग एज में घुस जाएगा. So I am going to put the page number on the left corner. If you remember the exercise that we had done, study of books, see the page number was on the outside margin. Correct? On the order page, what am I going to do? So here typically we put the chapter name. So if this is introduction, you will say introduction here. And what will be there in the footer? Page number on right. Let's draw for this section. So once again, we are going to draw the diagram. Alright, so this is the earlier page, right? Tell me, if this is the getting started chapter, there will be heading here. What is the header? No header, blank. What is the footer? Page number in the outside corner. So now this is my first page. This is my even page. So even page, tell me what's there in the header. Document name. Where will the document name be there? So this will be the document name. And page number? Left corner. We are capturing this, right? So you may want to zoom in a little bit so that it's readable. Alright? And on this side you have what the odd page. Now what are you going to put here? What is the chapter name here? Getting started. So their introduction would have come here. What will you get? You will get getting started here. And what do you get in the footer?
Page number.
Correct? Now, is this header same as this header, which is blank? Correct, no? So in the first page header of section 2, I say link to previous or same as previous, which means it is blank or same. So if this is blank, this will also be blank. What do you think will happen to the header of first page of chapter 3? It will also be blank. So the first page headers are all connected, they are all blank. Correct? Tell me about the footer. Is this footer same as this footer? That is the page number in the right side corner. So here also we are going to say same as previous. Are you getting it? Tell me about all the footers. Is this same as this? Yes. Is this same as this? So for all these settings I am going to say same as previous. In fact, there are so many similarities that by default Word makes it same as previous. By default. What will be different? The even page header will be different. Correct? So this is different. Let me draw it with another color. So what is different? The even page header is different, and then the odd page header is different. The rest everything is same. In fact, the even page header will also be same. Correct? So this is again same. So this is not red. This should also be blue. Correct? So what is only changing here? Only the odd page header is changing. The rest everything is same. Now I'll tell you the mistake that happens. When people enter the headers and footers, what do? First they will put the header for this, then for this, then for this. Okay. Then they go here, and because this is blank, they don't understand it is linked, they are happy that okay, blank is coming. Then they go here, it is same, they are happy. When they come to this particular header, now what are they seeing here? Introduction, which is the odd page header of the earlier section. And what do they type here? So they select it and they say getting started. But by default, what is the setting? Same as previous. So when they type getting started here, this introduction changes to getting started. Then they call me or mail me saying that sir, my headers of every section are changing when I change the header of section 7. Why? Section 7 is your last chapter. आप लाइन से जाते हो, section 1 से 2 में गए, 2 से 3 में गए, 3 से 4 में and so on. So finally on your last section you put your header, but same as previous is said throughout. When you change section 1, what is changing? All other headers are changing. Why? Because it's a chain. Are you getting it? Then they say it's a bug, it's not. So before you make this change, you will have to remove this setting which says same as previous. Then it will stay. Did you understand this? Now, I am going to demonstrate it to you on the PC. And even if you don't get it right in the very first attempt, don't be disappointed. It took me a few months to understand what I am telling you in minutes. And that's the reason I am recording this video. So if you feel like, sir, now I am feeling lost, good, take the video, look at it again. Then you may understand it a little bit. Do you have any questions? Shraddha? Prashant?
So when to remove the same as previous?
When will you remove? When it is different, you are going to remove. Correct? If it is same, it's automatically getting repeated. Why remove it? Only when it is different, then you remove. You will understand this when I will show you the example. Are you getting this? Alright. Till that time, I want you to do this exercise. What are you going to do? So you have got 1, 2, 3, correct? So I want you to staple it like this. I want you to cut away the bottom part so that you get a book. Correct? On page number 1, you are going to write introduction here. Right? So write introduction here with a sketch pen or something like that. And then keep the header blank. Don't write anything there. In the footer, what are you going to write? You are going to put a line there. तुम्हाला लाईन मारायची. लाईन मारता तुम्हाला येतच असेल. येते ना सगळ्यांना लाईन मारता? काय मॅडम तुम्हाला लाईन नाही मारताय? सो इथे लाईन मारायची. लाईन मारल्यानंतर काय लिहायचं? पेज नंबर. इथे नंबर पेज नंबर लिहिणार का 1 नंबर लिहिणार? 1 नंबर लिहिणार का? हे ऍक्च्युअली पेज नंबर आहे. करेक्ट? त्याच्यानंतर नाउ व्हाट इज दिस? दिस इज द even page. So you are going to draw a line here. Top left, what are you going to write? Document name. Installation of whatever, Windows or Onyx, whatever it is. Correct? So let's just say installation guide. Here. Again a line, and here what are you going to say? 2. Line, and what are you going to say now? Introduction. So this is the heading of this section. Correct? यहाँ पे line and then 3. You are going to leave this blank. Force blank page. On 5, what are you going to write? Header will be blank. What are you going to write here? Getting started. Footer, line, page number. Here again, header, top left. What are you going to write? Installation guide. Page number. Here line and
Getting started.
Here page number. Page number 8. Line and installation guide. And line and page number. Alright? Let's go ahead and do this exercise. Can we stop the recording?